Welcome to the byte podcast, a frontline in the world of tech. I'm Zaid, a computer science and IT student exploring how technology shapes our lives, from AI and cybersecurity to the latest digital trends. So plug in, stay curious, and let's decode the future, one byte at a time. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of byte, and today we're going to be looking at AI. So let's just get straight into it. What is AI? Well, AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it's essentially a computer that's been designed to perform the same tasks a human can do. It comes in three types, which are all encompassed into another type. So let's look at what generative AI is. This is the larger model that encompasses three different types of AI, which we'll get to later on in this episode. So generative AI is the most advanced artificial intelligence model that's available. It produces outputs like text, images. It also produces audio, videos. Just take a look at the Sora videos that have been coming out lately. Some of them are absolutely crazy. Let's just say that. And generative AI uses machine learning. Now you might ask yourself, what's machine learning? Well, let me tell you what it is. Machine learning is, this is the definition by the way, machine learning is the use and development of computer systems that can adapt without following explicit instructions. So essentially, we as humans can give AI a little bit of information, and it can then build on that specific piece of information to the point where in the space of a few weeks, it'll know more than the average human knows about that specific topic. So say, for example, I fed it an image of a Ferrari. It could take that image, scour the internet, and find out exactly what kind of model that Ferrari is, what the color is, because we haven't given it any information, just an image. So you'll know what color it is. You'll be able to name other brands of that Ferrari model. And that's how good AI can get. It works in a similar way to humans do. So when we're in primary school, we're taught the alphabet. But then we're taught phonics, and then we learn how to put words together. That's how AI works. Like I said, it's literally able to perform the same tasks a human could do at the same standard, and sometimes even better. But obviously we're not at that level yet. And I say yet. So what three types of AI does generative AI encompass? Generative AI covers predictive AI, conversational AI, and traditional AI. So let's look at each three individually. So predictive AI. Predictive AI, as I'm sure you can guess, is one that can forecast things, forecast outcomes based on analysis of historical data. So as an AI engineer, or an AI engineer, you'd give the AI model a set of data. So say we're giving it data based on financial history. The AI would then be able to spot trends, spot patterns. It'll use and it use that information that it gathers such to the trends and the patterns, and it use that information to then make predictive models based on that information, if you get what I mean. So essentially, it could literally predict the future, but just like how that task would take a human around a month or two, to analyze trends, it would take a large team of humans as well. AI is one thing that can literally do that for us. And it's been used in quite a few financial industries. Just look at all the banking, all the banks that rely on predictive technology. They'll definitely be implementing this sort of AI. Next we have conversational AI. Now this is probably the AI most of you guys are familiar with. So what is conversational AI? Well, it's basically the AI that powers chatbots. So like your ChatGPT, your Google Gemini, your Microsoft Copilot. Any chatbot type AI, which is the AI that's out for the majority of the public to use, usually for free, as most like basic versions are, that's what's powering these models. It's not some big computer screen, it's just a conversational AI chatbot. And it uses natural language processing. Now, natural language, although it may sound simple, it is really not. So, being able to process natural language may seem easy for us humans, but for a computer to be able to process natural language, bearing in mind that computers work in binary, it's a very technical, very significant technology. It's one that's being developed, and it's really doing things to AI that's, it's not really been able to do in the past. Like, who would have thought that in 2015 that we'd be able to just send a prompt and get every single fact about that prompt back in a matter of minutes. So essentially, this natural language processing, it allows you to have human conversations with the AI chatbot. So the third AI is traditional AI. Now, what's traditional AI? It's an AI that automates and optimizes tasks. It's used. I don't think the average individual user would use a traditional AI model. Obviously, as part of generative AI, they would. But traditional automating tasks is used in like businesses, large corporations, and it's been used for decades. It's not new. It's traditional AI is the backbone of most payroll systems. How you get your paycheck. There's no human sat there calculating your wage. There's no human sat there typing out your address on your bank statements. It's all done by computer. And that's what we call traditional AI. That is the backbone of all the new AI that's come out. So the generative AI, the predictive AI, the conversational AI. It's all stems from traditional AI. So for example, let's put it into a real life situation. So when you phone up the doctors, you're met with a call screen, right? And it'll say, click dial 1 to reach the reception, dial 2 to phone a specific doctor, dial 3 to report an emergency, right? Well, what's behind that? It's an AI model. In the future, future models of these phone calls is going to be based on AI. And even current doctor surgery, like my local one, uses AI to use these phone call modeling. All the chatbots that you use on car websites, such as, I've got a problem with this. You're not talking to a real human, you're talking to a bot. And that is traditional AI. So everyone uses AI, and everyone has used AI. It's not a new invention. It's just come out a lot more advanced recently. But the thing to point out with this is that even though everyone does use AI, not everyone knows what happens behind the scenes. Like, how do you know what that chatbot is processing? How do you know what data the chatbot is collecting? Obviously, you're aware of like your cookies, but does anyone actually read what cookies it collects? And that's something I want to make. That's the key point I want to make in today's podcast. Is you have to be aware of what data is being collected. You can't just let AI take over in a sense. I don't want to sound like one of those Skynet's coming type of people, but you really do have to be careful in this new digital era that we're finding ourselves in. So let's look at AI in business first. We're also going to look at it in the workplace as well. So according to some reports, including the Ofcom AI report of 2025, it says nearly 4 in 10 businesses, which is essentially 38% of the UK businesses, have some sort of AI tool implemented. And this has risen from 23% in 2022, which backs up my point that AI has been in use for some time now. And that significant increase has scared a lot of people that are in the job market. And what's even scarier is that only 11% of those businesses actually understand how to use that AI ethically. So they could be using the AI in a completely incorrect manner, such as generating pictures of people without their consent, or they could be generating factual information, which is true in some cases where, recently a lawyer got convicted because he used AI in one of his court cases, which obviously seems lazy, but if such a tool is about, why wouldn't you use it? This is what I mean, as people aren't fully understanding how to use AI, and then they're getting caught out, because in a law case, in a lawsuit, you want to make sure that you've got real information, don't you? You don't want to put your client at such a risk. But if the tool is there and you think it works just like Google does, it doesn't, because it's using its own information as well as information from Google, which leads to a completely separate point of corruption, which we're not going to cover today because there's not enough time to cover that today. But yeah, we'll definitely cover that, and hopefully we'll cover that with someone who's got more of an expert knowledge on it and actually works in the industry. So, another funny fact is that you'd think AI would be used most in the IT and AI industry, but it's really not. IT comes third in the industry use of AI. Finance and marketing is first. So you can imagine why finance would use it, for the predictive modeling as mentioned earlier on. But marketing, this is a real problem. Using AI to generate your images and your marketing, it takes away a lot of personalization, I think. Like I was literally at the local shop the other day, and they've got adverts on, and the milkshake they put in that advert was AI generated. It takes away the realness from our society, in my opinion, if we don't use it correctly and ethically. And it raises the point that these businesses, including financial companies, they're trying to stay ahead of the trends. They want to make sure that they're outcompeting their competitors, which any business would want to do. But are they running before they can actually walk? That's the point on businesses I want to make. So, how does AI affect our jobs? Well, this is the point that I'm pretty sure most of you guys will be most concerned with, which is why I saved it till the last. So, it's one of the key talking points. So let's start with the positives of how it affects jobs. Well, the UK government think, and they estimate, that AI will contribute £400 billion to the economy by 2030. And this is, in my opinion, I thought this was quite aspirational. But with their predictive modelling, as you can see, it's being brought into everything. They've predicted that it's going to be worth about £400 billion to the UK economy. And it's set to create 1.2 million jobs. That's a lot of jobs. But then if you look at how many jobs it's going to displace, which is about £250,000, that's 250,000 jobs that are being displaced. Now, are those jobs that are being displaced because the people that work in those fields are AI illiterate? Is AI becoming the new norm of the criteria a person looking for employment should fit? Currently, having AI literacy in the following sectors: data analysis, cybersecurity, and creative media is the most in demand. And I'll tell you why. Data analysis fits with the financial sector using and upskilling its use of AI. Cybersecurity, this is an ever-looming threat, and AI can be used to cause cyber threats. Just look at the automation of botnets and ransomware attacks. The UK itself has seen a particular rise in these type of attacks. And creative media, marketing, making posters, making advertisements, all being generated by AI. And whilst it may be creating jobs, it's not really benefiting our society in a way, is it? I don't know, you guys tell me in the comments. So according to a survey by one of the big four companies, PwC, who are like the big four top accounting firms globally, state that 73% of workers, not just at PwC, but workers that are employed, believe that their jobs will change due to the introduction of AI in the workplace. Which is okay, because their jobs are changing, which doesn't mean their jobs are going. But, a key but here, only 28% of those workers believe that they're prepared for that shift, and they believe that their organizations are prepared for that shift. That's quite concerning. AI is about to change the job market. AI is about to change our world. But if only 28% believe that the change will be monitored correctly, isn't that quite concerning? Isn't that telling us that we need to take a step back before we actually improve our societies with AI? Aren't we being told that we need to look at what we're actually doing? Because, once you go for something, there's not always a chance to turn back. Now, something to remember is that I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm not trying to say AI is taking our jobs. All I'm saying is that AI is the skills that are needed for the jobs. that we need. It is the skills, and there's no denying that. No, anyone that says it doesn't take the skills that are needed for certain jobs, they're wrong. I'm gonna have to say that I'm just going to have to blatantly say it. They're wrong. If you're looking into the job market right now, and a lot of you guys will probably be students that are listening to my podcast, you guys need to learn how to be AI. And now that sounds really stupid, I know. But what I'm saying is you need to have the skills already, such as being able to complete basic admin tasks. You shouldn't need training for that. These are the entry-level jobs which AI is taking, and that's how you get your experience to get into these fields. Now, a lot of people will say that, oh, well, you need these entry-level jobs to make senior jobs, which is correct. And I'm not saying that all entry-level jobs will be gone. What I'm saying is that a large number of entry-level jobs will be gone, because you don't need as many senior staff to manage the entry-level jobs, if you get what I mean. And that's all I've got today. So to summarize, AI is everywhere, but most people don't actually know it exists. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think AI helps, or do you guys think it harms society more right now? And I also wanted to mention that I've also secured some really important guests, some VIP guests that will be featuring on the show in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out on my socials for a brief glimpse of who we have on. And when I say they're important, I say they're important, and I wouldn't just say they're important for no reason. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Byte podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the podcast and share it with someone who loves tech as much as you do. Stay safe, stay smart, and I'll catch you in the next one.